Today's episode is brought to you by True Classic Tees. The tea for people like Deke, who we were just talking about, in terms of,
yeah, it's nice.
You know, whether you're all the way fit, kind of fit, or not fit at all. It gives you that nice athletic cut up top, fitted around the chest and around them biceps so you can look the part that you want to look, but then it also gives you a little more leeway around that midsection, baby, because we know not all six-packs are created equal, but we all got them somehow, some way, all right? So that is what True Classic Tees does bring to the table, and I love the fact that they're always in what we like to call prime colors, or just really good colors that go with everything. As my man Deke can always tell you, you rock with the culture, right?
Oh, yeah. I love the tees.
Come on, man.
They sent that care package. I've been rocking them ever since.
Absolutely, man. We need another package now that I think about it. But either way, for y'all that necessarily don't get the care package, y'all can use the promo package. And that promo code is MOATS. You use that, you get 25% off of your purchase at trueclassictees.com. So, don't waste time, baby. Make yourself look good. Feel good. Ladies, too. They got it all. All right? True Classic Tees. Shout out to them for the show. For me, man, the first thing that I like, Tom Brady. You watch him, he is still, you know, who he is. Very cerebral, always in command of the offense, still very highly accurate with the football, super competitive. Yeah, still doing it all. Still can't run. Not the best athlete, still not that.
Knows how to move in the pocket, though.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. And he also is doing a really good job also of when he gets hit, he's selling every hit. And I do like that about him as well. He's just very vet savvy. But, man, as a whole, Brady's still playing at a very, very high level of football right now, man. And he's part of the reason why that Bucs offense is as good as it is, because of how he is with his decision-making and stuff like that, man. So he's obviously the first thing that I like about this Bucs team.
Yeah, obviously, I'm with you on Brady.
Yeah.
What do you think really sold that call at the end of the game on Grady Jarrett? I think it was whenever he
kicked his leg. Yeah, he kicked his leg up. That's why I said he sold it. Yeah. It was the hit itself was fine. When he kicked his leg up, it makes it look like something extra was going on. And if it's Brady, you give him the benefit of the doubt. That's 100% what it was. Yeah.
Do you think there was anything Jarrett was doing that would make him kick the leg, or he was just
Brady
going into acting mode?
No, it wasn't necessarily acting mode, but Brady, whenever he gets hit, whenever Brady gets hit, he always, like, we always would say it's like a temper tantrum. Like,
yeah,
he gonna flail or do something, and then he's always trying to get you off of him quick too. Like, you notice whenever he's sacked, he never wants the guy like on him for a long time,
talking shit and stuff.
Yeah, so that's the other part of just his game, because he knows he's a target, and he knows, hey, man, when you hit Brady, it ain't often, but when you do, you want to let him know about it. You gonna lay on it. You gonna let him, like, all that. So that's the other part of it. So yeah, whenever he is hit in any games that you watch, especially later on in his career, he's quick to, and you know, he's like, bro, like, what you doing? You had a toddler, man. Chill out. But I think that was ultimately why, from that referee's vantage point, you see him kick that leg up. You like, bro, what the heck going on? All right, flag. Yeah.
Yeah, Brady.
I don't agree with it, but that's the context that I kind of thought of.
Yeah, Brady's still that dude at 45. Yeah. You just got to watch the games, even though the Bucs offense has been
inconsistent at times.
Yeah, very weird.
Yeah.
It also has to do with the receivers being in and out of the lineup. All you got to do is watch Brady throw the ball. That, from my standpoint, accuracy still on point.
Not missing a beat, bro.
Somehow, it honestly looks like one of the faster throws.
I would agree.
The balls with the most speed in the league. That I'm
in terms of like the zip on it, bro,
it's unbelievable.
Yes,
it's literally unbelievable.
He'll be throwing that rock, and I'm just like, bro, why are you rocking it like that? Like, yeah.
I don't know how it's possible. This would be a great question, but I do really think Brady has improved his arm strength over time. Yeah. How does that happen? When you're coming into the league as a young 20-something-year-old, aren't you thinking in that 20s point to whenever you hit your early 30s, that's probably your peak of arm strength. Yeah. How has he improved his arm strength?
It makes no sense to me, bro. But it's noticeable. As soon as you said, I was like, yep, I agree.
It might even be faster than last year. I mean, we're probably talking minuscule, but that was the first thing that jumped off the screen whenever I was watching some of these games.
It's very noticeable.
Yeah, he still has it, even though some of his numbers are off a little bit. Even though his touchdown interception ratio is good, 7-1. The Bucs offense hasn't been the same. Correct. But actually, I do think there is something missing in the Bucs offense. We'll get to that in the dislikes.
Absolutely, we will get to that. All right. Second thing that I like about this team is their defense. Man, this is a unit that is talented, explosive, high pedigree. I mean, yeah, it's not a lot of holes with this defense. They got young talent in terms of Devin White, in terms of Tryon. You got veteran guys out there, Shaq Barrett. What's the other? Levante David. Still, man, the one dude that jumps off the screen to me consistently was Antoine Winfield. Like, Antoine Winfield Jr., like, man, just defensively, they got a dope young core. They got some good players that know how to fly around and play ball at a high level. Yeah. And they got the big dog up front, too, man. Big Vita. Yeah, he's another one. No.
Yeah, they have
So
a
I definitely
really
like
good
their
defense
a lot, man. I like the defense a lot.
Yeah, they have a really good defense.
Yeah.
Statistically, they're one of the tops in the league right now. I want to look at this real quick. So, in terms of league-ranked defense, they're 6th in passing yards given up, 6th in interceptions taken away. Actually, they're not as good in the running game, 18th in rushing. But overall, their defense is really solid. You look at some of these games, only 3 points given up against the Cowboys. That's with Dak Prescott. 10 points against the Saints.
The Chiefs were the one they got.
That was it. Yeah, because look at everything else. Packers, only 14 points. They did end up losing that one. Yeah. Chiefs was the 41. And Mahomes is on one right now. I mean, you watched that because that was one of the ones I watched back too. What can you do? Mahomes is just lighting it up, dude. He's got the Brady stuff in terms of throwing it from the pocket, but then
he got the freaky stuff too. Yeah.
Right, exactly. From escaping the pocket, that mobility, throwing it on the run, and I mean, we saw that play in the red zone. Like it was 2 or 3 yards from the goal line where he just like flicked it over his wrist, did like all the spinning and shit. So yeah, and then we saw even on Monday night, they're still operating at a very high level. Mahomes had 4 touchdowns. All to Travis Kelce. Yeah. And then against the Falcons, they only give up 15 points against the Falcons. If anything, some of that was garbage time. I mean, it was a shutout. It was, 21-0.
Then they
third quarter, and Mariota starts leading them back a little bit.
Because they scored that second touchdown with like 4 minutes left in the game. And that was ultimately when that final Brady drive happens and the sack happens after that. But, yeah.
No, their defense as a whole is really good. That's what's keeping them in these games as the offense has been trying to figure it out. Yeah. But from some of the stuff I saw, there are ways to get around it, and we even saw with the rushing game.
Absolutely. And then the third thing that I like about this Bucs team is just their offensive talent. When you talk Brady, Mike Evans, Godwin, Leonard Fournette, then obviously Tristan Wirth, in terms of the offensive line and stuff like that, I just think that their talented players on offense are actually like super productive players too, whether you're talking this season or career-wise. And that is something that, when you watch their offense, especially that Falcons game, when it got going, they're going through those guys. Now, Brady's still going to spray the ball around, but Fournette, Mike Evans, and Godwin, those are the guys he's rolling with. Those are the guys he's leaning on, and they produce. Like, when he needs it, those are the guys, man. For Fournette, it's not always necessarily running the ball because this year I think he only has one 100-yard rushing game. That was the Cowboys game. Other than that, the rushing yards have been very pedestrian at times, but his receiving ability all of a sudden this year has been the big thing that has, I think
carried over from last year. Probably like 80 receptions.
Yeah. Like last year was obviously a big year for him. I think he had, 60 receptions, something like that?
Yeah, he became more of a receiving back these last 3 or 4 years. Even dating back to his last year in Jacksonville, I think he had like 75 receptions.
Yeah, but for me, a person that's played against Fournette when he was in Jacksonville, and it was like, yo, this dude is an animal as a runner. Now seeing him getting that ball out that backfield in terms of it being thrown to him and having him with more space, you can see some of the difficulties that it is to play against him and why he was drafted where he was as well. Like, this dude is a talented running back, man, across the board. But Mike Evans, dude, you watch him and it's like, man, if you put the ball in his vicinity, he's going to get it. Now, he always looks like he's hurting to me. Always like he's hurting. But he produces, man. So, yeah, I like their, like I said, offensive productivity. And Tristan Wirfs, man, he's a heck of a tackle. So,
yep. I got the same exact 3 then because I have just offensive weapons. But maybe even take yours a little bit further. Their depth. When you have Russell Gage as your third receiver.
Bro, Russell,
Julio Jones as like your third or fourth receiver. He's out. And I think they're gonna wait on him because they're gonna need him in the second half of the season and for the playoffs. They're gonna
treat him like the first year when AB got. Remember when they was like, yo, we brought him on like the last 6-7 games or whatever. They're gonna let Julio get as healthy as he needs to be for the run.
Brashard Perryman, I've always liked him. I don't know why he's never been able to carve out an actual role with a team, but he can step in if a dude like Evans or Godwin gets hurt, and you really not miss a beat because of all that talent that he has.
Yeah.
And then Scotty Miller as your sixth receiver.
Scotty.
If he's your sixth receiver, you got some pretty damn good
Bro,
depth.
think about it. It was times when Scotty Miller was like one of their guys last year. Yeah.
He's still a guy Brady can go to and trust. Now, well, we'll just leave it at that because also I like Leonard Fournette as well. Running backs aren't really the same from what it was over the last couple of years because you had the Leonard Fournette, Ronald Jones combination. Also, Giovanni Bernard, he's on IR.
Yeah.
So it ain't really the same there. But we'll say offensive weapons plus the receiver depth.
Yeah. All right. Oh, and let's make sure we do our due diligence because it's 5:14, so we got about a minute or two to check to see what the chat said in terms of their likes. All right, before we go to our dislikes.
Works for me.
All right, let's see.
Here we go. Says number 1, Giselle. Number 2, AB's terrible memes. And 3, TB12 gets all the BS calls from the Zebras.
Oh, Trina Still Diva says she likes the other TB12. Number 2, the former Steeler, Byron Leftwich. And the third, the refs. Yeah, because the refs to be helping them. All right, I respect that. I respect it.
Stan Claire, I do like Devin White, the city of Tampa Bay, and also Warren Sapp.
Bart Basquiato, he likes Giselle. He likes the pirate ship. And he also likes Winston's W speech in terms of eating the W. Fair enough. Yeah, that pirate ship, man, that joint kind of scared me the first time I was down there, bro. They shot that cannon. I was not expecting it, Deke. Definitely jumped. Felt bad about myself. You know, it's like, yo, I jumped. I wasn't supposed to jump. It was one of them moments, Deke. It was not cool.
What else we got here? I don't know if I'm seeing. Oh, here we go. Paranoid Steeler fan. Passing game against our linebackers.
Yeah.
Running game against our D-line. Ability to stop our dysfunctional run game.
Hey, I'm looking through this chat and I'm seeing people say he done sold his soul.
Brady.
Yeah, they said, because he was like, how's he still getting better? He's like, he sold his soul. He the devil. I'm like, well, it made me think about my shirt because I got this Chucky shirt on. I was like, man, I hope y'all don't think I'm over here tripping or nothing like that. That's like Halloween a lot. All right, I ain't on that Brady stuff, but I did like my Chucky. You know, I got to have a little Chucky. You know, you a Chucky guy?
Never seen it.
That might be good for you, though, D. Might be good.
Yeah, I don't really plan on seeing it either.
Keep you peaceful, man. You know,
I remember him.
Yeah.
That movie getting promoted a decent amount whenever I was a kid. Never really wanted to get into it. Looked pretty scary.
It can be very scary. It's times, Deke, as a 34-year-old grown man, where you know it might be dark, and I'm like, was that 4 feet? Was that 3 feet? Is that a dog, baby? All right, let me check. Let me get the strap. You know what I mean? Like, just be safe. Yeah.
I'll go with 2 more here. Cal Monier says Devin White all day, 2 Tristan Wirfs, and then 3 Vita Vea.
Okay.
Rod Dawes says Tom Brady, the coaching staff.
Ooh, nice.
He's got a few here. Antoine Winfield Jr.
Bro, he's so fire.
And a bonus,
bro. He's fire.
Leonard Fournette.
Yeah, I like it then. All right. So, with that being said, to stick with the time, so because we're going to be on time today, D. We on time. All right?
Yeah.
Now we will transition to what we do not like about this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team. So, drop 3 dislikes in the chat, por favor. For me, man.
Go first?
Yeah, I'll go first, man. The first thing that not really a fan of is just their pass rush consistency. I think in terms of the individuals winning, obviously like a Joe Tryon, man, I think that he is a dope athlete. I like his ability to rush the passer, but in terms of his sack numbers, he doesn't have a lot. Obviously, when you're talking about Shaq Barrett, we know that he is a guy that has had a high ceiling in terms of getting sacks, but even this year, he's off to a slow start. 2 sacks for him. Their approach right now has still been more just anybody is winning. They'll blitz out of it. You see Devin White blitzing a good amount of time.
Vita Vea's got like a sack or 2.
Yeah, it's like spread out, but it's nobody that you're necessarily saying, hey, this is the guy. Even though Shaq Barrett, historically, since he's been in Tampa, has been that guy. And when you talk about Joe Tryon, he looks the most legit to be that guy. But this year, neither one has necessarily produced in the terms of those numbers. So that's the first thing, like I said, for me, that if I had to pick something, I would just say consistently winning one-on-ones in their pass rush. I don't feel like they do that right now. They'll blitz it, but you don't have that one guy that's just winning.
Well, what I dislike for them, but actually like for us, is no Gronk.
Ooh,
I feel like Brady's missing his guy.
Good call.
And they're trying to figure it out. And I think they are getting there
That
because you see these last couple games, the offense is much better than what it was the first 3 weeks. But You notice Cameron Brate, I think he only has like 100 yards.
Yep.
Kyle Rudolph, he's been in and out of the lineup, but he has 1 catch for 12 yards. Brady hasn't been utilizing the tight end like he has with Gronk, and that's been hurting the offense up to this point. Like I said, they're trying to figure out ways, and as you mentioned, if they're going to start dinking and dunking to Leonard Fournette, maybe that's one of the ways they do it.
Yeah.
But another thing about Gronk, I don't know if people really understand this because everyone thought he was washed and stuff. Dude, last year he was on pace for 1,000 yards.
No, he definitely was.
In 12 games,
he just
55 receptions, 802 yards, and 6 touchdowns.
He just looks
66
crippled
yards a
at
game.
times, bro. He just looks so old at times, man.
But you don't mean to tell me Brady wouldn't mind having Gronk back.
Oh, you
right
know
now.
he would. Come on, that's his dude.
So I think that's something they're missing on offense.
I like that. All right, the second thing that I don't like about this Bucs team right now is their offensive line's run blocking. When you watch them, I think they pass block really well. But when I'm watching them in the run game, it's not a ton of guys just getting blown off the ball, and Fournette has these big holes to run through. A lot of Fournette's productivity does come through the passing game. It comes through him fast releasing and stuff like that. And a large part of that is because they're trying to use that to be a substitute to their run. Very similar to what Brady would do when he was in New England. It would be, hey, man, we're going to quick pass attack. We're going to screen. So you'll see him now passes. Get up and chuck it out there to Godwin and hope Godwin can make a guy miss. You'll see them fast release Leonard Fournette out there to the flat. Strong side or to the boundary side. Just get on the ball in space. Let them run. Like, that's how they attack the run game. That's how they approach their run game. That's it for them. And Brady, because he is very good with his decision making. Now, he does make mistakes, and that does pop up, but he does not do it a lot. And that's the thing. Like, his decision making, man, in terms of when he knows, all right, this look I got, I'm going right here with that ball. That's the stuff that's like making them really tough. But their offensive line in terms of the run blocking, I'm not a fan of it. Because, like I said, it's just not what you would think it should be based on some of the talent that they have and stuff like that.
Well, I'm with you on that. Offensive line is a little bit shaky at times.
And there are some injuries now.
Well, that's what I was going to bring up, just to go more off that.
They got some guys hurt, man.
Their starting left tackle, Josh Wells, is out on IR.
Hey, you know where he went to school?
I did see that today.
Okay.
James Madison.
Okay. And they also got a guard that started in the Super Bowl for them that's on IR as well, Aaron Stinney. He also went to JMU as well. I don't know if you knew that. You know, the 25th ranked team in the country right now, that JMU. Just want to throw that out there, man. They JMU do. So, you know, I feel some type of way about them.
I know how you're feeling with JMU right now. What are the vibes from everyone else, though? I know you're trying to, like... die the hype down a little bit. How's everyone else handling it?
Mind. You
really?
Lost their mind. Absolutely.
National championship.
They done lost their mind. Hey, man, we need to write a letter to the Sun Belt to see if we can go ahead and change that rule. We understand that we're not supposed to be good for 2 years. We're supposed to be transitioning, but clearly we're doing this right now. So we need.
I thought you said you don't have to transition if you have your schedule set up.
So this thing, we are trying to appeal.
Okay.
But a part of our appeal was going ahead and making this schedule as tough as it can be and playing a full FBS.
Oh, so did you try to appeal before the season even started?
Yeah, we had to send the appeal before the season started. So
no response yet?
Yeah, but no. You weren't going to know. In terms of the NCAA, we didn't. The Sun Belt part is different. So the way it's set up is for any team going from FCS to FBS, it's a 2-year mandatory wait. So most time, those 2 years, you're trying to get your roster turned over, get the 1AA guys off and get 1A guys in. You're trying to see, okay, man, we're going to schedule half, FBS, half FCS. For us, because we already felt like we had a G5 team. We already felt like we had guys that we recruited that could play at that level. A lot of dudes would turn down those schools to go there. I tell you how, even with my situation, like, I wasn't going to here. I was like, I'm going to go here. It makes the most sense for me. So we already felt like we had that type of talent, but it was one of these you had to see it. So because they're winning as much as they did, now it's like, hey, man, we wanted to end this thing sooner. So can we make this a 1-year thing? For the Sun Belt, their biggest hiccup is just because the NCAA rule is we can't go to a bowl game for 2 years. They don't want their conference champion to not be able to play in a bowl game. So if they change it to, if the NCAA says, hey, man, in a year we'll give y'all a pass, well, then the Sun Belt will change and be like, hey, man, y'all can win the conference next year. If the NCAA says it has to be 2 years, then we got to wait 2 years to win it. And that's kind of like the whole dilemma with the Sun Belt and with the NCAA. But we appealing, man. We writing letters and all that type of stuff, man.
Okay.
We just didn't know it was going to happen like this.
Yeah, hopefully they could come to some conclusion.
I'm trying to keep everybody chill, though. Just one game at a time. And
then the other dude they're missing on their offensive line is
Jensen.
I think he made a couple Pro Bowls, right?
Yeah,
Ryan Jensen.
Yeah.
That was a really bad loss. That happened before the season even started.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm with you on the O-line / some of the injuries that they've dealt with on the offensive line, but also Julio Jones dealing with some injuries, Mike Evans being suspended for that game, Chris Godwin being in and out of the lineup.
Yeah.
So yeah, they've been dealing with some injuries, but they're 3-2. They're starting to hit their stride, it seems, from some of the stuff that I was watching.
All right, and then the last thing for me, man, I was kind of reaching. I ain't have a lot going on, but actually, no, I'm really content with this, man. I wasn't a fan of their corners specifically. I like the safety. Like I said, Winfield, I like him. And Carlton Davis, I like him when he's fully healthy. But when I'm watching him and Dean, I don't know, man. I think they're good players without a doubt, but I don't know. I think if I'm looking at them, I'm like, I like us. I do. So that was kind of my thought process when I thought of the DBs. I'm like, yeah, that's definitely a matchup that I like a lot for us on this angle. I think that it's something that if we're talking about the way you're attacking this team or you're talking about weak spots of this team defensively, to me, those are the guys that I look at their cornerback room specifically. Because, like I said, I like their front seven a lot, man. I like the linebackers a lot. I like the D-line. I like what they do there. But secondary is where I would say, is their weakest point outside of Antoine Winfield Jr. because, like I said, he's like their honey badger, Swiss Army knife. You see this dude doing everything. It's super productive, man. But he's a safety is how I'm classifying him.
So that was one of the things I noticed as I was watching some of these games is that the secondary can be had. Now, the Chiefs could be a little bit more of an outlier because that's the Chiefs, Andy Reid, Mahomes.
Yeah.
But with how Aaron Rodgers was picking apart their defense, it was some stuff that we should be doing or what we hear that Matt Canada usually does. It's the bootlegs, it's the RPOs, it's some quick passes. And we know the Packers receivers aren't that good, but Rodgers and that Packers team was able to move the ball a ton in the first half. They didn't get 21 points because I think someone fumbled or something happened weird in the red zone, or they would have had 21 points in the first half just like that. Now, I get it. That's Aaron Rodgers. That's Matt LaFleur and whatever offensive play calling that they have over there. But if maybe Canada, I'm hoping so. Take those shrooms, do whatever you got to do. Watch some of that Packers tape and what they were doing against the Bucs, and can we incorporate that for this game coming up? Because I'm with you. There's certain ways to get them off balance on defense.
When I look at them, that's the thing that jumps out. I'm just like, that's...
Because I'm telling you, Rodgers was running a very similar offense that we talk about what Canada's supposed to do. There were RPOs. There were bootlegs. There were quick passes. There were little rollouts that he was doing, and it was successful. The thing that killed the Packers was some of those fumbles. I mean, Bucs were. That was a weird game in the second half. Bucs kept turning it over. Packers kept turning it over, but they held on enough.
Well, and think about it this way, though, man. You think early on in that game where Kenny is like cutting it up early on those first couple of drives, that is the approach. That's the offense. That's Canada. So it's like, just do that, but don't do it for 2 to 3 series and then stop.
And then do run pass.
Right. Don't.
We got to start with the pass. I think you got to trust Kenny now going forward.
The way that game played out, it's like, man, if you take that approach, you can take advantage of these corners that way. But we also can't have the drops either. That's the other part. They kind of go hand in hand. So I get it.
Yeah, and those Packers receivers actually played pretty good in the first half of that
game. They
was
catching the ball, bro.
They haven't really played good anywhere else because they've been dropping it too and doing some stupid shit. But for that first half, can we just do it? Can we do it? Can we get Pickett on some rollouts?
Can we catch the ball? Like, it's got to be both. We got to have Pickett making good throws, good reads,
good calls.
And we got to have good calls from Canada. And we got to have the receivers actually getting open and catching it. And we actually need our offense line to protect. Like, we can. We've seen it. Just do it consistently, man. Do it consistently.
Okay, my fourth. I have no oomph.
Fourth? You got 4?
No, 3. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was like, dang.
My third is no oomph.
I like it. What side of the ball you talking about the oomph?
Just the whole team.
Yes, it's like
it feels very lackluster.
Yeah.
Very, very lackluster, and that's surprising coming from a Tom Brady-led team. But both on offense and on defense, I think the offense, they're just trying to find their identity right now without Gronk. These receivers being in and out of the lineup, maybe Brady dealing with some of this stuff off the field as well. And then defense, I don't know if it's because the offense doesn't have that oomph or they're putting the pedal to the metal in some of these games that they're up, and the defense is playing off that because it didn't really feel like the Falcons had any business getting back in that game. But it happened.
To me, when they scored that second touchdown in the fourth, I was feeling like, man, they went out there on that last little series before they gave up that touchdown. It was kind of chill. Like, bro, we up big. This game about over.
We got Brady.
We done stomped them every time we done been out here. Like, we vibe. And then before you know, you're like, they just scored? they scored again really quick. Wait a minute, that's a 2-1 game. Whoa. Like, that's kind of what it felt like, yeah.
Are they missing someone like AB to bring that edge in the locker room? I'm not sure.
I don't think
AB and
they don't need that edge. They don't need that edge. Keep that edge away.
No, but it's on both sides because it's either the offense is just starting off stagnant.
Man, you
they
just
stay
made me
stagnant.
start. You just made me start thinking about AB all of a sudden. I was like, hey, he just going another Twitter rant yesterday. Like, God.
Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about at this point.
Bro, what? Every time I'm just like, oh my gosh, what is this, AB? What you doing? Yes, thank you for reminding me of him.
So that's my third thing. There's no oomph, but you're starting to see signs that they're starting to get it.
Yeah.
They're starting to figure things out a little bit more. And the offense in the Chiefs game and also in this Falcons game was firing on more cylinders than it was those first 3 weeks. And then the defense has just been pretty much good throughout, but there's still something lackluster overall about this team. And then I do have a fourth one, though. This is more about what I dislike, but probably what Bucs fans and the Buccaneers organization like, and that's the refs' help. Because not only was it the Brady call, there was a call before that where I think they did either pass interference or defensive holding.
Yes.
It was a third and short.
Third
and short, Brady throws a slant. I think it was the Mike Evans. The most ticky-tack call I've ever... I can't say that. There's been some actually other terrible calls. But it was probably in the top 10
it was ticky-tack
for the league this season in terms of ticky-tack calls. But it's flying under the radar because you have that Chris Jones one that happened Monday night and then the other one that happened in that Falcons-Bucs game. But
bro, I don't know which one was worse.
There's refs on Brady's side. We've seen it throughout his whole career.
Hey, Deke, which one do you think was worse? Which one do you think was worse, the Grady Jarrett or the Chris Jones? I hate the Chris Jones one because it's a strip sack recovery.
Yeah, that was probably worse.
I'm like, bro, that killed me.
At least you can maybe see the ref's vantage point with Brady flailing his legs and they jump the gun and accidentally throw the flag and then they just stick with it.
It killed me. I'm like, yo, this strip sack, this the trifecta, bro. You know how hard that is? Like, he with the one, like, oh. Yeah, that hurt.
Really bad.
That hurt.
But yeah, those are my 3/4 because I gave you the bonus one. That's what I dislike.
Nah, salute you for that, man. Hey, and I must say, look at the clock too. Look at
Perfect
the clock.
timing.
Look at us. Would you look at us, man? You see how we doing, man?